Welcome to the fourth installment of the Ideas for Sustainable Living series. We will cover shelter and northern survival in this episode.
The Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center in Austin, Texas, installed the first extensive green roof in their area. I visited with the Director of Landscape Restoration, Steve Windhager, to find out how they designed their rooftop gardens.
Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center is all about native plants, using them in gardens, landscape restoration, or even on rooftops. And what we're looking at right now is seeing how native plants can be used in green roof applications, particularly on commercial buildings.
Can you tell me about the structure that's underneath this?
All of these rooftops are lined with a standard metal frame and with a corrugated aluminum rooftop. Under that we have a waterproofing membrane that keeps the insides dry.
That's on top of the metal.
That's on top of the metal. Then on top of that we have a sheet of foam, and then another weatherproofing membrane, and then we put all the soil and then the plants.
So the soil is about how thick?
It's about 4 inches thick. It's the most economical, and this is what most of the commercial applications are looking at.
And clearly the biggest question is going to be, will this roof leak?
These roofs are less likely to leak than any other kind of roof. What goes on underneath the soil membrane is exactly what you'd find under a standard rooftop. And then we put on the soil, which makes it actually less likely to be exposed to the elements, to crack, to wither, and to become stressed. And that's what actually causes those rooftops to leak.
So what are the benefits of having a roof like this?
They have a lot of benefits, but for starters, they're great in terms of reducing the heat island effect. All those rooftops reflecting a whole bunch of sunlight can cause urban areas to really heat up. These green roofs do a great job of mitigating against that and help lower the overall ambient air temperature. They're also great in terms of cooling the building that they're on top of. 4 inches of soil is a great insulator, and it keeps the occupants of the building at a much cooler temperature. And then the final benefit, of course, is wildlife. This is a great wildlife habitat for a number of different birds, insects, and other species, and it creates an urban oasis oftentimes.
Remember, there are lots of healthy choices for you and the planet. So if you're going to build it green.
The green roof is a way to make our urban spaces more sustainable. Rooftop gardens are an excellent option. You could create a sanctuary for yourself and your family. I really would suggest growing some lovely herbs and smaller plants. Remember, food production is another goal. Regardless, the green living roof will reduce heating or cooling bills, increase the lifespan of your roof, and clean the air of our cities. Animals would likely make their homes there. It's an important idea, and could be extremely beneficial. Of course, much of these changes are quite expensive. It is important to look at an extended time frame. We must think of our children and grandchildren. The seventh generation. What sort of world do we wish to leave them? I demand that we leave them a system that is stable and peaceful. Spend money on restoration of our urban spaces and our diverse cultures, arts and natural environment. Disengage from the corrupt political and economic system. Enough is enough. That is why I'm showing you the various options. We must become the independent and loving communities that we are meant to be. We can do this together. No more manipulation.
Urban sustainable living is a holistic approach to living sustainably in the cities and the suburbs. USL incorporates permaculture design principles that fit into the hectic, fast pace of city lifestyles. In practicing urban sustainable living, I manage natural processes that have a direct benefit to my family and my community. Managing natural processes allows me to produce more and consume less. You see, waste is just energy misused, and in USL, everything in the system has multiple uses. For example, my garden bed. They serve as my planting beds where I grow food for my family. My garden beds are also the home for my livestock, like my chickens, who provide me with fresh eggs every day. By building the cages to fit perfectly in the garden beds, I never have to clean up after my livestock. The waste is now energy in its proper place. My chickens provide manure and till the soil. Modularizing my garden makes maintaining it more efficient. Food, shelter, and clothing are the basic necessities of life. Sustainable living is critical. History has shown us that cultures collapse and disappear when they are no longer sustainable. Remember, start small and expand gradually. Work at your own pace. If we all can, at the very least, provide a salad at lunch and a vegetable at dinner for our own family for 6 months out of the year, imagine the impact that can have on moving our society towards sustainability. I'm Patty Moreno, the Garden Girl. Thanks for watching.
It is really important to respect animals because they are providing you with the energy you need to live and survive. Ensure they are able to engage in natural behaviors and that they have enough space to freely enjoy their lives. I think I will keep a few goats and chickens myself, but wow, it would be hard to eat any of them. Do what you must, with great respect.
Hi, I'm Kate. I'm a grad student in environmental studies, and this is the Ohio University Eco House. Come on, let's take a look around. And this is our Eco House garden. It's still kind of early in the season for many vegetables, but we have some cold crops growing. We do eat pretty well in the late summer and fall from our garden. This is our Eco House composting system. We take the food from our garden that we grow, we take it inside, we cook and eat what we can, and what we don't, we throw out here into the compost, and we let it decompose over a course of a few months, and then we put it back in the garden, and it kind of completes that full cycle. We've covered our gutters with a screen, and the water just comes down through this tube and into the barrel, and we use this to water our garden, and so we don't have to take water from the tap. Alright, this is our solar thermal hot water heater. And this is a closed circuit system, so it just has antifreeze that runs through a bunch of little capillaries or little pipes through these two big panels, and the sun heats those, and if you touch it right now, it's actually hot. The solar panels produce 70–75% of the electricity we use in the house, which is pretty good in southeastern Ohio. So this is the inside of the Eco House, and as you can see, it's just a normal house. We try and minimize the amount of waste that we produce each week or each month, and we do that by recycling. Our refrigerator has the freezer on the bottom just because heat rises, and I think this is becoming a trend with all the Energy Star appliances. This is our washing machine. It's a low energy and low water usage washing machine. That's what a lot of people come to the Eco House to see. And it's our amazing heat furnace. It's a biofuels furnace or biomass that runs off of corn pellets or corn kernels or wood pellets or anything that's about this size that still has energy in it. This, we can fill it up and leave and go for a week, and the only thing we have to do is empty the ash every 8 or 10 days and just make sure that this bin stays full. In all of the light fixtures in the house, we use fluorescent light bulbs. I think it's a really nice place to have social gatherings, and we have potlucks every month, and we have tours and other sorts of things. The difference about living here is sort of changing our lifestyle to minimize our ecological footprints. But it's just the way that we choose to use things that minimizes the amounts of resources that we use.
This is a good example of small solutions that you can implement into your home. Perhaps the mercury-filled light bulbs are not the greatest solution, but you can make that decision. Find sufficient ways to heat and cool your home, as well as energy-saving appliances and water recycling. The next video is pretty ethnocentric, my apologies. I really wanted to include it, so people would be able to watch the skills of the Inuit peoples.